Hi everybody and welcome to another episode of Sheikhy's Sports Journeys. I've been travelling all over the world. I've been talking to cricketers in Australia. I spoke to a Major League Baseball player in the United States. I spoke to people in the Caribbean. I thought it was time to come back closer to home. And who better to have on the show than a fellow Glaswegian and Celtic FC legend, Simon Donnelly. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, thanks, pal. Yourself?
Very well, very well. Slowly starting to get back outdoors again, as I know you were striking a golf ball earlier on this morning.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be invited up to Gleneagles now that the lows have kind of lightened a wee bit in terms of travel. So I was up there this morning, bright and breezy, but the golf was a wee bit hot and cold.
Listen, it'll be back. Class is permanent, Simon. It'll be back. I assure you. And what have you been doing with yourself? Obviously, lockdown. It's been a strange time of life. What have you been doing with yourself?
As much as possible. Try to keep my three boys amused in the house at the beginning when lockdown was tight. My wife was still working. There's wee bits and bobs that I can do with my own business ventures. And try to keep fit. You know, that's maybe been one of the difficult things that everybody's found, you know, mentally as well as physically, because it's been testing times, surreal times, and you know, I think we've all had our wee highs and lows through lockdown, but yeah, just trying to get myself out and on the move as much as possible.
No, I've been seeing your Insta story. You're no lying. I've been seeing you're doing a charity challenge just now as well, Simon. Tell me a bit about that.
Basically, it came about. As I said there, I was just trying to get out moving and running, get myself off the couch, and there was 2 or 3 of us in June. We targeted 200 kilometres, and I kind of came into the challenge a wee bit later on, so I think I only managed to get to about the 100 mark. But as I was doing those runs, I kind of thought to myself, why don't I do something in July that will benefit myself, you know, getting out and running, but will raise some money for some charities. And that's basically what it came about. So there's a couple of us doing 300 kilometres in July, and I'm going to donate £1 for every kilometre. So I hope to maybe beat 300 by the end of the month. And we've opened up 2 Just Giving pages on my Twitter and Instagram, and it's for the Sick Kids Hospital in Glasgow and Edinburgh Headway, which is a charity that look after adults after they've had any sort of brain injuries, you know, and it's tied in with my good friend Jackie McNamara's business Concilium. They have a foundation, and that's one of the beneficiaries. So it made sense to choose that charity as well, you know, after everything that he's been through recently. And that's how it came about, you know, so hopefully, well, it definitely is, it's inspiring me to get off my backside and go out and run and put the kilometres in, but hopefully we can raise a few quid for the charities as well.
Listen, that's awesome. Just while we're on that, my little brother, my late little brother, passed away many years ago now. Attended Yorkhill Hospital for his short life of 5 years, and you know the work they do for children that are sick and supporting families and whatnot, it's quite amazing. So you know, I'll certainly be looking to make a donation to your cause, and I'll spread the word as well, because it's a fantastic cause, as is people with that have had brain trauma. And how is Jackie McNamara now since he had a recent scare, obviously?
He's very well. He's getting stronger all the time. He's back working. I'm speaking to him on a regular basis on the phone and Zoom calls. But yeah, he's been through the wars, you know, at the start of the year. A real shock to us all, but great to see him on the mend and fighting fit. Good.
I'm glad to hear it. Really glad to hear it. So let's get into the show, and the reason we're here today was just to talk about your cracking career, Simon. Born 1st of December 1974 in sunny Rutherglen, Burnside, Glasgow. Talk to me about your family background, your childhood growing up, any siblings. Tell me a bit about it.
Well, my parents are both Ayrshire born and bred. Both teachers came to Glasgow through education and taught in Glasgow at various schools. My mum worked in the visual arts studio in the town. I've got a sister, younger sister Alex. So all I've known, I was aware of the family from Ayrshire because my grandparents and my aunts and uncles and cousins, we always used to go down there, but I've only known living in Glasgow, born and bred here, you know, after my mum and dad moving. But yeah, good childhood, heavily influenced by football, as you can imagine. Playing football in the streets, we stayed at a street in Raglan where at the time you could go out and play in the streets. There was cars, but not too many. We could go out there and play, and if a car came, you would lift up the jackets, the car would pass, like probably everybody else
Same.
at that time, and with a lane up the back, and it was good times, and that's where I said to my own sons, that's where subconsciously I honed my skills. I didn't even know, I just was enjoying football, but that's where you learn and start picking up little skills as you just go out and play as much as you can. I used to go out, I'd go to school in the morning an hour before so that I could play with my pals in the playground. And I'd be straight out
Same.
after school, so it's just the way everybody was brought up at that time, I guess.
Come home, get your homework done as quick as possible so you can get the freedom to go out, and then you push the boundary as possible.
My parents would probably give me trouble for not doing the homework. I think that was my problem. I think I was out playing football before the homework got finished.
Listen, it sounds just the same as mine, but times have changed, Simon. They really have. I mean, I did a podcast with Kelly Clark, Celtic the ladies captain, just last week.
Kelly.
That's how you kind of came about. And she touched. We talked about this. The childhood has changed now. I don't see any kids putting a couple of jumpers down and just getting a game of football. I don't see all the 7-a-side pitches at Tory Glen. I play a game regularly where I was up until lockdown at Holyrood. Pitches are always empty. That's a bit of a concern. But you obviously had a very great childhood, out playing all the time. Great to hear. Your old man, is he no? Did he play? Was he on the books at Rangers for a while?
He was. He was. I think he was the best part of 4 years at Rangers. So he signed from school, and I think he was there with the likes of John Gregg. I think there was some good players at Rangers at the time, and he never made it quite into the first team, which I like to remind him of. But he's got his own wee ways of getting back at me as well. But I had 4 years there before he went to, I think he had his best senior days at Motherwell. He played at Motherwell. And I think
Where did he play, Simon? What position did he play, your dad?
He was right half, they would say, right midfield. He was a midfielder. I never seen a lot of him. There's not a lot of footage of him. I'm told he was quite a clever midfielder. And he likes to remind me that he scored 2 goals against Spurs back in the day when it was the old Texaco Cup.
Yeah.
So he's reminded me of that a lot of times over the years. But that's where he had his main kind of success. Bizarrely, he'd already went into teaching at that point. So can you imagine that nowadays, like a player playing senior football and teaching kids at the same time?
Simon Donnelly's got you going to your maths class, and Simon Donnelly, what's going on here?
So that must have been what it was like for him at that time. I read the scrapbooks and I can kind of join the dots. But yeah, he taught at the same time, and then he kind of finished his career, moved to Stirling, where he had a spell with Alec Ferguson. Alec Ferguson was his first management role with my dad's team there. So he went there and then finished in the juniors.
Well, he certainly played a bit. He's played more than a bit. Now the question I asked then is, was your dad a Rangers fan? Did you? What was it? Was your dad a Rangers fan then?
Yeah. My family, there's no kind of secret that my family was Rangers.
Yeah.
And that was how I was brought up until I signed with Celtic at 17. And people can't get their heads round that, but that's just you're born into it. You don't have a choice at that time. And I like to say, thankfully at 17 I seen the light and signed for Celtic.
Well, I'm going to put out there right now that I'm born and bred a Rangers fan, and it's funny. I'm getting a lot of banter from some of my mates now, because it's like, where's the Rangers? What, you keep doing. You've got Simon Donnelly coming on there. I can't wait to see it. But what about the Rangers? So I need to even things up and get somebody from Rangers on at some point. But look, it's great to hear about your childhood. Sounds like a great childhood. When did you start kind of realising? When did it start getting noticed, or you started noticing? Where was it? What was the early success for you as a boy coming into higher level football?
It's weird because my road to where I got to at Celtic at 17 is unorthodox, to say the least. I had spells that I played with my pals, as I said there, like everybody else, and I had spells at boys' clubs. And I was at a boys' club where I found myself being the sub that gets subbed. And I was maybe 11, 12 at the time. I remember saying to my dad I didn't want to go back. And for that period from then, I played with my BB. I think the school team was just coming about when I was around about 13, 14, and my pals. And that was it, really. I managed to get into the Glasgow school side and the Scotland under-18s side, which wasn't really regarded as anything special because all the 16-year-olds at that time had signed for somebody. You know, I played with Charlie Miller at the Glasgow schools. He'd signed for Rangers. I hadn't signed for anybody, so I'd kind of stayed on at school, really just to play in the school football team. It wasn't really anything to do academically. I took subjects, but it was really just to stick in at my football. That was all I was really interested in. Mm-hmm. And then at 16 years of age, my best pal at school, his brother was playing in the Queen's Park team over at Hampden rather, and he'd more or less said, look, to his brother, have you got any pals? The coach wants some under-18s to come along to Hampden. It was really relaxed, and my mate says, look, do you fancy coming along, keep me company, and we'll go along. And I went along, signed. I was there 6 months. I played in various reserve teams and the under-18s. I never played for the first team at Queen's Park. And before I knew it, Celtic came knocking, and I was away on a trial after 6 months at Queen's Park and went to Geneva and signed for Celtic when I came back.
Hey, that's mental. That's like when
it's weird because I keep saying to people 6 months before I signed for Celtic, I was playing in the park with my mates. There wasn't any real pathway.
And you weren't even playing first team.
I never played for Queen's Park first team. No.
That's. No. I mean, you would have thought a guy like yourself, you know, local boy that's gone on to play for Celtic, would have been in all the teams, you know, coming through. But you know,
I remember playing in the reserve. I was under 18s at Queen's Park, and then you regard a wee bit of promotion as going and playing for the reserves in the Reserve League West midweek. You're playing with men. You know, I'm 16, going 17, and you're in there against senior pros, some of them. And I remember thinking, playing at Leicester Hampden and thinking, I'm actually doing all right. I'm holding my own, nicking a goal here or there. Mm-hmm. But for whatever reason, Eddie Hunter was the manager at the time. I never quite got to the first team level. Mm-hmm. And then, as I say, 5 months in, Celtic came knocking. There'd been whispers of Celtic and Rangers. You always hear little rumours. And Celtic came and asked me to go to Geneva on an end of season trip with, I think it was under 20s. And I went and trained at Celtic for a week. And immediately I could see the levels were up. I was training with guys like Stuart Gray, Brian McLaughlin, Barry Smith, who broke into the first team at the time. The levels just jumped up from where I'd been at Queen's Park. And I loved it, you know, winning around Celtic Park. We were actually getting changed in the dressing rooms and get down to train at Barrowfield for that week. And in that week, we ironically played Queen's Park in a game. I don't know if it was a friendly or Glasgow Cup. It was up at an old pitch. I don't know if you're familiar, Helenvale, the old AstroTurf pitch along London Road. I don't know if it's still there. And we played there, and I scored a hat trick. And that was before we went to the tournament. And I thought, I've done myself, you know, a few favours there, because when I went to Switzerland and Geneva, I didn't play well. I didn't score a goal. I thought when I came back, I'd blow my chances.
Yeah.
And it was only recently when I started working back at the park, I had a conversation with Bobby Lennox, who was my first coach. Him and Denny Rooney took the team when I was first at Celtic. And he said to me, he says, I remember your first game, son. And Bobby's getting a wee bit older now, but he's still really, really sharp. And I was thinking, where's he going with this? I hope I don't embarrass him here by saying he's got the wrong game. I was maybe expecting my first game for the first team.
Yep.
And he says, you scored a hat-trick against Queen's Park at Helendale. I couldn't believe he remembered it. That's and he said, I turned around to Benny Rooney and says, we need to sign him. So from me going to Geneva and worrying about my performances there, they'd already made their mind up on me. So it was amazing to share that story with Bobby recently.
So you were already signed before you got on the plane to go over there?
And I didn't even know it.
There you go. But it just shows you get those one or two opportunities and if you take an opportunity or two, it can change your life.
Aye, 100%.
That's certainly what happened with you. If I'm right in saying you signed for Celtic 27th of May 1993.
92 I was there. 92 I signed.
92.
Yeah.
Now you went from Queen's Park, like you say, the standard went up a wee bit, but then you went into a squad with you know, the who's who of Scottish football. I mean, to name a few, one that stands out to me in particular is the great Paul McStay.
Yeah.
John Collins, one of my favourite players, John Collins. Charlie Nicholas, Tom Boyd. What's it like, Simon, going into a changing room or your early training sessions with some of these guys?
It was amazing. It was amazing because I'd been there. I'd been there a year and a half, I think, before I actually got into the first team set up. It was under Lou McCarry, so I'd already been there with Liam Brady for a season and a bit, I think, if I remember rightly. And I'd been round about these players because as a young player, you were cleaning boots. I think I was cleaning Charlie Nicholas's boots. You were cleaning different boots. You were doing gear. You were getting into the dressing rooms and cleaning the dressing rooms, and there'd be one or two first team stragglers in there, so you would get a wee bit of chat with them, and that would be the first introduction with these guys. And then because the reserves was certainly set up at that time, the first team would only have two subs, so it'd be a strong reserve team would play. So say we were playing Rangers at Celtic Park, the reserves would be playing Rangers at Ibrox, you know, on the Saturday. It was a real good experience for players' education coming through at that time. We were playing in an environment and alongside senior pros. So I'd shared the pitch with a few of these guys, but I remember when Lou McCarry called me up from at Barrowfield, there was two pitches. The reserves would be, and the young boys would be on one pitch. The first team would be on the other pitch. And I remember getting called up just before I made my debut on Saturday at Easter Road. And I was playing, it was 7-a-sides, I think, with the first team. And it was just amazing. It was amazing. And I don't mean this in a big-headed way, but I felt it was easy. I was playing with players there and I was bouncing balls off people. It was just an amazing experience that I'll never forget. And you've rounded off some of the players there. To be on a training pitch with them, never mind, you know, the actual pitch. It was all your dreams came true. That's where, when you're back doing it on the streets 10 years before, that's where in your head you want to be. So for it to happen, it was amazing.
So, I mean, it sounds like it was a very comfortable. I mean, I'm sure they gave you a bit of banter when you were coming in or about the changing room to begin with, but quite a welcoming bunch for you. I mean, you were as a young boy coming in, who kind of looked out for you?
Paul McStay, Peter Grant, John Collins, all good senior pros. They would help you in different ways. You know, John was a model pro. Paul would lead by example. Granty would wind you up. Granty would wind you up all the time, keep you on your toes, but in a good way. You know, they looked after the young boys because, particularly McStay and Grant had been young boys themselves coming through at Celtic. John had obviously came from Hibs, but even like Tom Boyd that you mentioned, all these guys were good in their own way. I remember training, and I think I made my first start with Charlie Nicholas as well, where Charlie was coming to the end of his career. He was never particularly quick anyway, but everything up there, and what I learned off watching him in training and playing that short spell that I did have up front of him, priceless, you know, just in terms of his intelligence and his movement. So you're always picking bits up off every player that was there. It was a great, I've said it before, great education to come through. 6 months at Queen's Park, and then suddenly I'm in at Celtic, and that period from at 17 to where I made my debut at 19, you learn so much.
That's amazing. It's amazing. It's just, what amazes me again is how quickly you went from a certain type of level to the top of the top level. I mean, it was, and it seems like you were one of the lucky ones. Sometimes people don't handle the pressure of going into that kind of cauldron, but you seem like you really enjoyed it. You thrived on it.
I did. I must admit, I did. I think it just kind of was a whirlwind. It came to me so quick. I felt that's where I kind of belonged. I think the second season, I played that 10 games, and I think I scored 5 goals. And I thought, this is easy. This is where I belong.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was brought back down to the ground the following season, my first full season.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Hampden, and in the club, we just had an absolute stinker of a season. It was terrible. We struggled badly, and I struggled badly. My confidence was low. I had a couple of injuries that kept me out for long periods. I never scored a goal after coming in at the end of the season before, thinking, easy.
Yeah, no, because I seen
easy.
that. You started like a house on fire. There's even I read a quote that no pressure or anything, but even it was some that compared you to the great Sir Kenny Dalglish and said you had similarities. No pressure or anything in the early days.
That was Lou. That was Lou McCarry. Aye. And that honestly didn't affect me. That it was more that I remember reading an article about, I think it was Alex Ferguson, talking about gigs and saying, yeah, all right, the kids came in and scored 5 and 10, but it's when your opponents get familiar with you the next season, you're no longer the new kid on the block.
Yeah.
You have to go and do it again. And I did that. I toiled at Hampden, I had a stinker of a season, and I was talking to you about Peter Grant there. Peter Grant likes to remind me it's the only season that he's scored more goals than a striker at the Celtic, and he only got 1. So that shows, I really struggled in that second season.
Yep.
And it took Tommy Burns to take me aside the following pre-season and say, look, I'm going to take you away from that up front role.
Yeah.
I'd always regarded myself as a striker. I'm going to move you deeper. I think it will suit your style of play to go and link up from midfield and build it, and it'll take the pressure off you playing up front. And it's the best thing that any manager done for me, because not only did it add another string to my bow playing in that position, he brought Jackie in. We had it off there.
Yeah, I was going to say the marriage with Jackie started back there. You boys have been like, you're like brothers from what I see.
Yeah.
And Tommy Burns made that big goal.
That team he brought in Van Hooijdonk towards the tail end of the Hampden season. He then brought in the likes of Cadet, Andy Tom. These were serious players that were going to enhance our team. And I think that following season, where we only lost 1 game, was out with the obvious of winning the league. That was my most enjoyable in terms of the football we played. It was some great stuff to be involved in. But really, that it re-energised me in my career, because from the highs of coming in as a kid and just banging goals in and thinking this is a scoosh, to the reality of the second season, I could easily have slipped away there, but Tommy Burns seen something in me and says, right, we're going to put you right midfield and we're going to play in a different role here. It just suited my game.
Something I wanted to ask you just before we go further on is I read up about it. It's a famous game that I wanted to ask you about, because you play a big role in it. It's called the lockout game, they call it, and you played a lone striker up front against Rangers in a 0-0 game. That people say you gave Big Richard Gough a bit of a runaround in that game, but I mean, for a young lad to get put into that kind of role, that's a big ask.
I loved it. That was my first Old Firm game. I loved it.
First Old Firm game, bloody hell, man!
There's no Celtic fans there, and just bizarre. John Collins scores the free kick in the place. You could only hear us screaming. The whole place was silent. And I think it was Mikhailichenko equalised late on. Otherwise we were getting out of there with a fantastic result. But a great experience. I did have a good game. My dad, my sister and my grandpa were in the main stand. It was a great story, but my grandpa's pal, Let, gave up his 3 season tickets to allow the 3 of them to come and watch my first game there. So they had to sit in there quietly and sit in their hands for 90 minutes. But it was a good wee story and a nice gesture.
Yeah, I know, very much. But what was key to, when did the manager mention to you that's the role you're going to play?
I can't remember. I'd need to look back at it in terms of how many games into. I came in 2 sub appearances there. I scored 2 against Raith Rovers. I think I scored against Dundee the following midweek. So it might have been my 3rd or 4th start. But because I'd scored and been doing reasonably well, Lou, you know, kept faith in me, and I more or less led the line myself up there, you know, because I think we set up with kind of flooding the midfield with me up top.
Yep.
But I enjoyed it. I loved that game.
Sounds like you took to the role really well. And my next thing, when we were going on there, we've obviously touched on it already, but I wanted to kind of go into a bit more detail on it. So, Tommy Burns, the late Tommy Burns, sounds like played an absolute masterstroke there. But what was key about it was, the way I read up about it, obviously Jackie McNamara played the overlapping fullback role. So was it just the synergy of you knew when to let Jackie go, and he knew when to sit back, or he knew when to support you? Is that what was key about it?
Yeah, but we did work on it. This is why Tommy was really good. And if you ask anybody through the generations, the young boys, I've heard your Maloneys, your McGeedy's, your Darren O'Days, all these boys speak highly of him because he always went out his way to help the young boys. And it was the same with us. There was a group of us, myself, Jackie, Stuarty Gray, Brian McLaughlin was in the team playing similar role on the opposite side. Mm-hmm. And he would take us back in the afternoon, and it wasn't bamboozling a million cones out, or it was little triangles, little movements, all relevant to our side of the pitch. And we'd do it, and he would show us little ideas, and we'd bounce the ball about, and it just became automatic on a Saturday. It became, if I was cutting in, I knew where Jackie was going. 9 times out of 10, I wouldn't even need to look. Mm-hmm. And likewise, if I made a move, he knew where I was, and it was the same with Eddie on the other side. Brian McLaughlin was a fantastic player as well at that time. It was him taking the time to come back and work with us. Him and Starkey, afternoons, back up to Barrowfield, only 4 or 5 of us, couple of balls, little shapes, triangles. This is where I want you. If you cut in here, he's round here, there's your options. And after you do it a few times, it just becomes repetitive. Mm-hmm. And you take it into a game on a Saturday.
Brilliant. Again, just another thing I wanted to touch on was you had another bright. This was probably before you faced that moment where you had a bit of a downtime, where you had to kind of learn your game into the pros. It came early. It came easy for you early. You had a game down at Old Trafford and a Mark Hughes testimony. You bagged a couple down there. That must have been some experience.
That was amazing. That was amazing because that was at the end of the first wee flurry that had come into the team. And we went down to play in that testimonial at Old Trafford, and this was, I grew up following the Liverpool team with Dalglish, but I liked the Man United team of the 90s with Cantona and Giggs and Scholes. I thought that team, people say, I'm not so much a supporter of a team to that extent. I like watching good football. Yeah. I thought the Liverpool team of the 80s, early 90s was amazing. But then I think Man United took that mantle over, so I had a huge affinity to that team and to play at Old Trafford that night, and the Celtic fans came in their numbers, and to pop up with 2 goals, it was fairy tale stuff.
What were the goals like?
The first one, I think I stole the ball off Roy Keane over on the far side, which is unlike Roy Keane.
I'm surprised he didn't come and take the legs off you straight after.
I think I'd maybe just get away from him before he could do that, and then I kind of bore down on Steve Bruce at the back, and then just kind of shifted it, and it wasn't the cleanest of strikes. It was my left foot. I just kind of shifted it onto my left, and I had a go at it, and it's found the far corner. And the second one, we had Chick Charlie playing for us that night, and Chick was pulling the strings in the middle of the park, and I've made a little run centrally, and he's found me, and all of a sudden I'm through in goal, and the keeper was quite advanced, and I've just lifted it over him. So it was, both were at the Stretford end as well. So as I say, I'd have been 19 at the time. It was just dream come true stuff. A testimonial, but at 19, and back in those days, the testimonials were quite heavily contested.
Well, that's what they're not like it's not like it's the way now. Testimonials were played quite serious.
It was probably like the kind of Battle of Britain before the Battles of Britain and the Champions League. So we were down there to win, and they had some good players in the team, so it was a great night.
I was just touching on that. I support Rangers and I support Man United. My teenage years were brilliant. I love
Aye.
watching the years.
Can imagine.
I was loving it, winning all the titles. It was a great time. All changed now. I mean, Man U, as you know, it's rebuilding every season. Rangers,
I think, I think Man U are showing, although it's only a few games, I think they're showing signs at the moment they're on the right path. They've got some really good young players there that are only going to get better. The boy Fernandes coming in, looks a player, and even Pogba, who frustrates the life out of me at times, seems to have his match head on, and when he's on song, you know, he's a world-class player.
Absolutely. So yeah, you go. You know, we've talked about your relationship with Jackie McNamara and how that was a great period, great time for you. I mean, again, masterstroke by the late Tommy Burns. They reckon it kind of got, from reading, they reckon it kind of got ruined when a certain Paolo Di Canio turned up at the club in '96, and that kind of you and Jackie's role kind of came to a bit of an end.
I just think it was competition for places again.
Aye.
You know, Paolo was a fantastic player, and Jackie could play in different positions as well. But I see at Celtic, I've spoken to kids about this even when we were coaching. At Celtic, you could have a great season, and starting the next season, you walk in on day one of pre-season, the slate is clean. You have to do it all over again, because Van Hooijdonk walks in the door, Di Canio walks in the door, Cadete walks in the door, albeit halfway through maybe. It's every time that happens, every season. So it's just one of those ones where you have to do it all over again. I mean, you can't rest in your laurels, especially I always feel it's tougher for the homegrown players that have came through.
Yep.
You know, to go and do it again. That's why I take my hat off to the likes of Forrest. Does it every year. Forrest is year after year since he broke in. McGregor, these guys just year after year, because it's tough. Because there's new players come in, and it's a challenge every year.
Mr. Di Canio, you must have a story. A wee cheeky story about Mr. Di Canio from your time with him at Partick. I mean, what a character. I mean, obviously as a Rangers fan, he kind of roughed. He was that typical kind of player that would rough, but I mean, he was great to watch. Colourful player. I think he wore white boots. That was when he launched his white boots.
White boots, gold boots, green boots, all sorts of colours.
What was it like in the changing room?
It was larger than life, Paolo. You know, even from he came in pre-season, I think he roomed with Peter Grant in pre-season when we were in Holland. Absolutely tormented him. You know, he was taking fish up for lunch and put under his pillow, and I think TB had actually put Peter with him to kind of look after him, but there was no chance of controlling Paolo. But it was in a good way. It wasn't in a bad way. And again, he's one of the hardest trainers that I've actually worked with. You know, he trained every day as if it was his last. He was unbelievable, fit, loved himself. I mean, loved it. There was no hair on his body.
Typical Italian.
No hair on his body, shaved the legs, everything was shaved. The hair was gelled back. But he could play. I mean, he could actually live up to it by the football that he produced. What a talent.
No, amazing to hear. 95, it was a big season. You know, you'd not, I mean, I've not really touched on it, but it was tough times for Celtic. You're judged on one thing as a Celtic player and a Rangers player, and that's who finishes first and who finishes second. And you guys were obviously coming off second best for most of the 90s. In 95, you got your hands on some silverware. We won in the Scottish Cup. It was a Pierre Van Hooijdonk one goal against Airdrie. How was that campaign? And do you think that lifted the spirits of the boys?
It took the monkey off the back from the likes of Paul McStay was the captain. They'd went 6 years without a trophy, which unheard of for Celtic. And they experienced a bit of success. The centenary year '88. They were used to winning, you know, in the 80 McStays and Grants. So to go through that period for 6 years must have been tough for those guys. Tommy Burns included, Billy Stark included, because they'd been teammates back in the late 80s or the mid 80s. So it was probably a lot more pressure on those guys Tommy to get a trophy as manager, Paul to get a trophy as skipper. Me as the 19-year-old in there in a Scottish Cup final, I'm just happy to be there. I'm lapping it up, thinking this will be every year, which it certainly wasn't. But it was a big one for us. It was a big one, to go and get that silverware. And then we did. He brought in another few players after that, and we did kick on. But that Rangers team, for me, is the best Rangers team of all time. People will argue the 70s and whatever, but for me, that team with McCoy, Gascoigne, Laudrup, it was ridiculous. Albert.
I'm going to come on to touching on a few of the names that you just actually.
We always that season when we got a few players in, we did feel as if getting into those games we were competing. And if you watch a few of them back, and it makes it even more frustrating. You've got a foothold in the game. You're playing really well. You're thinking we're the team playing football here, and then they would break away, and Gaza would score at Celtic Park, or Laudrup would break away and score. And see, the more that happened, the more demoralising it became, because you thought, how are we going to get this result against this team? We seem to be playing well, but we can't take it to the next wee bit. And I really feel that's how Rangers are feeling at the moment with Celtic, because the game a couple of seasons back at Ibrox, where Rangers go in front, Celtic peg them back, Rangers go in front, and Celtic peg them back just before half time, and then win 3-2 with a man down. Getting into that dressing room at 2 weeks, they must have been thinking, we actually need to get 2 goals in front here. And I could think back to how their thought process was at that time when Rangers were dominating us in the late 90s.
Even the cup final, the recent cup final, or was it the semi-final? Rangers played Celtic off the park, but couldn't put the ball. I mean, Morelos couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. But you're right, it's like, can't get the monkey off the back right now. They obviously had a good win at Parkhead, but they weren't able to go on from that. So it's interesting to hear. I mean, you've come from the one end of it, of being in that situation. But I mean, to get the cup, obviously lifted the spirits. I've not got the year in my head, but there's one game that sticks in my memory, and it was the 3-3 game. What year was that again, Simon?
I think that was 95, 96 season.
And what sticks in my memory in that game, I'll never forget, is Andy Goram's save point blank off Pierre Van Hooijdonk. I still cannot understand how he saved that.
I know, unbelievable.
But those games back then, wow, see, growing up watching the Old Firm back then, it was honestly, it was so special. You go forward, and then it comes to the big year. By the time 95, 96 came around, you were quite settled. You looked like, you only missed one game in the season. You scored 6 goals. It seemed like you were very much settling in, part of the furniture, and you were quite comfortable in yourself and your role at Celtic. Yeah,
I think, just as you said, I changed my role in the team. Some good players had come in to lift the team everywhere, every department. And we did feel as if we were moving forward. Playing some great football. We were getting into games then, really getting out on a Saturday and expecting to score 3 or 4 goals. It's a great feeling. That confidence is that high. And we would do it more often than not, albeit I think we had 11 draws, which in the end killed us for the title. And then unfortunately we slipped up in the Scottish Cup semi-final against Falkirk, which ended up in Tommy losing his job over, which was really disappointing, because I think in that short period he'd been back at the club. He brought Celtic back to Celtic in terms of how we were playing football, exciting football that had people off their seats, really entertaining football. And he brought in some top players. So it was a shame how that ended. But I did feel we were getting closer. And the Rangers team had been settled for the time they won the league after league, but they were getting a wee bit older as well. I think our team in 98, when there was 7 or 8 new players, were a wee bit younger and hungry.
You go into the big season then, the famous season that you probably will never ever forget for as long as you live, and that's the 97-98 season, which is famously known for Celtic stopping Rangers is what was going to be 10 in a row. Now,
Yeah.
watching on from the outside, as a Rangers fan, I had no doubt Rangers will get to 10 in a row. They're not going to slip up at this point when, you know, they've done it. They've won 9 seasons. But obviously, on the other side of the city, you boys were, you know, determined. And it shows a lot of mental toughness as well from Celtic and the squad. Because when you've lost the last 9 seasons, I mean, it can be quite easy to be a bit demoralised. But when you bring in the likes of Henrik Larsson to your club, you can see why maybe that would lift the spirits. Now, you formed a partnership with Henrik Larsson that year. I mean, that's your golden season, Simon. That's P1. You scored 10 goals in 30 league appearances. Talk to me about your time. Talk to me about moments of that season, but obviously talk to me about your partnership with the great Henrik Larsson.
That's one of the highlights of my career. We played a spell, not sure how many games, might have been 10, 12 games together up top before Harold came in, and then positions get shifted about a wee bit. But again, I think we touched on it at the beginning about taking your chances.
Mm-hmm.
There's a story that we were getting up. We'd obviously not started the season particularly well. We got beat in the first 2 games. And then I think I came in, we played St Johnstone in the Cup in the 3rd game. And I scored a penalty to get us through. And then we went back up there on league duty on Saturday and we won 2-0. I think Henrik and Dan Jackson scored. But we were going into the Tyrrell game in Europe and Wim had picked his team, and it was Darren and Henrik up front, and I was on the bench. And I remember obviously being gutted not to start. I think I'd nicked a goal or 2 and thought I deserved to start, but found myself on the bench, got up to play a European night. And Darren took unwell on the way up on the bus, which later we found out water on the brain and had to have major head surgery. Mm-hmm. Needless to say, at the time, you can imagine, I don't know if cricket's the same, but there was no sympathy shown on the bus. Yeah. Other boys were claiming that he was chucked one in and did he fancy playing in the European stage.
The old school mentality, it can happen, but you got to be careful.
Aye, but it turns out, obviously, he was genuinely ill, but the point I'm making is it gave me the chance because Vim came up to me in the bus and says, look, you're going to play up front, Darren's unwell, he can't make it. Mm-hmm. So from not playing to playing, and then I went in and scored 2 goals that night with Henrik and had a decent game again, which influences Vim's selection process for the next 10 games. So that might never have happened, but I'm grateful it did. Obviously, I don't wish what happened to Darren, but it's wee opportunities that when they come your way, you need to try and take. But playing up front with him for that short period was a dream, absolute dream.
What makes him? Right, obviously, we've watched him. He's a genius. But what was it like to partner with him? I mean, is he the perfect partner? I mean, he strikes me as a guy that's been able to play with everybody quite comfortably.
He's a team player and he's a clever player. Mm-hmm. So he'll make great runs that will enable me to go and try and find him. He'll slip in little 1-2s. His movement off the ball. Just a team player, but clever. I describe him as a modern Kenny Dalglish in that I wouldn't say he was electrifying with his pace. He was quick, but everything was a couple of yards ahead in his head. He was seeing things quicker than other people see it, and that brings out the best in you. If you're playing with somebody like that, you know it can only improve your game. And it was a dream to play up there with him. Obviously, then things changed a wee bit when Harold came in. Harold found getting more game time up there. I was playing on the right. Jackie had been out injured a wee bit. I ended up playing out on the right. But for that little spell, we played up. I think we played Liverpool. I partnered them up at top against Liverpool.
Oh, come on to that. You scored the FA Cup game. Big tie. I remember it well. I remember it predominantly for McManaman scoring the absolute screamer that shattered the dreams. For you, you pinged a belter of a penalty in that.
Yeah, that was a great night, and I've watched it back in lockdown actually with my youngest son. Now all the reruns.
Yeah.
So one of them was on, and it was late at night, and we sat through the whole 90 minutes. And I actually sat there and thought, what a great game of football.
Yeah.
Both teams going for it. Free flowing, fast flowing. watching it with my 11-year-old who hadn't seen it before. It was
Yeah.
great. But, I remember when we got drawn against them. I think it was after we beat Tyrrell. We got drawn against them, and the excitement in training, everybody was up for it. You know, there was 20 odd players. Everybody wanted to be involved.
Yeah.
The level of training probably went up again. Everybody, you know, on it, trying to get in this team. And yeah, I think as well, there's always that sense of the English game to the Scottish game. You always want to go and defend your nation or your league, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So we went in there, you know, we were determined to make a fool of ourselves. And then when Owen scores after a couple of minutes, you're thinking, Jesus, this could be a doing.
Yeah.
But then we get a foothold in the game and we became the stronger of the two. And if you watch it back, before McManaman's goal, we come down the right-hand side and it gets flashed across the box. We're the team that are going to the third and the jugular effectively kill the tie. Unfortunately, there's nobody in the middle. It breaks to McManaman on their right-hand side. And the rest was history, as they say.
Oh no, mate! I watching on that night, I did feel for you. I've never been one of those old firm supporters that, you know, like to stick the knife in when the other team's down. Obviously, when they both play each other, I like to see Rangers try to beat Celtic. Yeah. I mean, European nights, for instance, when Celtic beat Barcelona a few years back, man, it was unbelievable for the Scottish game. But yeah, that must have been heartbreaking. What was the changing room like after that?
I can't remember. I think we did. I think we took heart from that game. I think that's where we really thought we could go and compete with Rangers for the league, because 7 or 8 new players came in. We get beat the first 2 games. It takes a wee bit of adjusting. Everybody learn how to work with each other in training. All the wee traits and habits that different players have. But it clicked that night. And I remember sitting after thinking, we've actually no bad here. We could actually go and give Rangers a race. And I think we went down to Anfield expecting to get a result. Mm-hmm. Obviously, 0-0. I had a couple of chances. One down at the cop end on my weaker left foot, which I should have scored. But I think over the piece, we came out of that with our heads held high. We should be, in another day, we could have went through. And that was a good Liverpool team.
Fantastic. Brilliant. I mean, what a moment when you must. I didn't really get to ask about that. What's the nerves like when you get the penalty?
Again, it's hard to explain. Excitement. You always back yourself with a penalty, don't you?
When you were watching it back with your boy, how did you feel when you're watching it? Actually, like, because
see, when I watch it back now, I'm a bag of nerves watching it back now, and it goes in off the bar. If you watch me when it goes in off the bar, don't get me wrong, the heart would have skipped a couple of beats there. Yeah. But again, you're looking. I made the excuse. Davy James fills the goal. He's massive. Yeah. It had to go there. It had to go there because he actually goes that side.
Yeah.
You know, it has to go that close to the bar. Not that I meant it to go that close to the bar.
Yeah.
But just a wee bit of relief when it goes in.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. So the season goes on, and it was nip and tuck, nip and tuck, nip and tuck. It comes down to second last game of the season. Yeah. You're playing Dunfermline, and you score.
Yeah.
And they're 1-0 up, and 7 minutes to go. Dunfermline decide to give you a real scare and make you, you could have been the man whose goal technically stopped 10 in a row. But you were still part of a great season and you were part of stopping 10 in a row. But I mean, that would have been a nice thing to go in the history books. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be. Dunfermline score with 7 minutes to go, 1 each. When you walk back into the changing room, there must have been some players going mental that day.
That was a real low, because Kilmarnock could beat you guys the day before, and for the first time, it was in our hands going to East End Park. And I remember travelling through, and everywhere you looked was green and white. Everybody was going through. There was so many in the ground, so many outside the ground. Everybody was through expecting us to win the title that day. And I think I found myself actually back up front with Henrik. It was Henrik that sticks me through for the goal. And then as you say, we're 15 minutes away from winning, and I did think about it because, again, more probably for my family and the pride of my goal taking us over the line. And then Big Gildy gets stuck. whether to come or go for the ball. And Falconbridge, who was on loan, wasn't even a Dunfermline player, he was on loan to somewhere, pops up with the goal. So the bus back that night was terrible at Celtic Park.
That must have been a low point, because one, the pressure's now on. You've not got the monkey off your back for the last 9 years. Terrible. So now it's probably the mind games have started. Are we going to screw this up?
You know something, Kiss, the good thing was it was still in our hands. But see, if you ask any player, would have wanted to get out and play St Johnstone the next day. You just wanted to get back out. You know that feeling when you come away from a result, you're kicking yourself, you can't believe how it's finished. Mm-hmm. And to wait a whole week actually made it worse. Right. To wait that whole week, the build-up, the nerves. The great thing about the whole finish of it was obviously Celtic Park with 50,000+.
Maybe it was meant to be. That was meant to be. The party was meant to be in Glasgow. Maybe,
but we left it close. We left it late.
And obviously Harold Bratback, he's the one that gets the goal that settles the league. And the final whistle's blown, and the monkey is finally released off the back after 9 years. I mean, can you remember much of that day and that night?
Not much about the night. I think we obviously after the final whistle, we were all inside. Fantastic moments in the dressing room. John Higgins had just won the World Championship, and I think he paraded the trophy maybe at half time of the game. And somebody encouraged him to come in. And I spoke to John since, and John's like, I don't want to get in. Some of them won't know me and whatever. And he's came in, and obviously all the Scottish boys just started cheering. And he was in the huddle with us. Just great scenes. And then you went over to the players' lounge where all your parents and family and friends were. And it was great moments. And then obviously we come back out. At this point, you don't realise most of the Celtic fans were on the pitch. By the time we came back out, they'd managed to get them back off the pitch so that we could get presented with the trophy. But, you know, looking back at the scenes the next day in the paper or whatever, and you're seeing all the fans on the pitch and what it meant to them, you know, after so many years, it's special. When, as I say, I've been lucky enough to see it a few times in lockdown over the last few months. And it's pretty special.
Listen, your boys must be probably have been a good time for them to kind of show what Dad was part of. What age? One of your boys is 11. What age is the other?
11, 14 and 17. So none of them, they all miss Celtic. My oldest was born down in Sheffield.
A great time for you to kind of relive some moments and let them know that their old dad was a serious baller back in the day. Something I want to go into now, and this is a big memory in my life. You have a great season, and Mr. Craig Brown, funny story actually. We had went out to a training camp as an under 15 Scotland team, cricket team in Inverclyde, and Scotland were out there doing something, and Craig Brown came over and did like a wee 10-minute wee speech with us, just to kind of say, I mean, such a soft.
Was that before 98?
Before 98.
Nah, we might have been there.
No, I think you were in the ground. You were in the ground. We were over in a different part of it, but somebody had managed to approach Craig and say, "Can you come and speak to the boys for 5 minutes?" And we were buzzing. Under 50, Craig Brown comes over to have a chat with us. But you were named in the '98 France World Cup squad. The last time we were in a big major tournament, I remember it like it was yesterday. First of all, when you get the call, how did you feel?
It was an amazing moment because we went to Portugal right after we won the league to play Sport Lisbon. It was something to do with the Cadete deal. Yeah. And we were obliged to go over and play. It was a nothing game really. And we were out there, and you can imagine the beers were flowing after the game. We were out there for a party more than anything else, but we had to play the game first. Mm-hmm. So when we were flying back, it was the day that the squad was getting announced. And we were all coming through security. I can't remember if it was in Portugal or back in Glasgow. And one by one, we were getting the text, he's in. I think there was 7 or 8 of us made it in the end, but I'll never forget, you know, the kind of snake that you come through security. We're all queued in there. We're all queued in there and we're all high-fiving. He's in, brilliant. You in, great. And it was all just getting text through. It was a really good moment. As I say, 7 or 8 years went.
Yeah.
So it was a good reflection on how well we did in the season, but great to be picked for that. You know, that's the pinnacle. You go and win the league with Celtic and then you're called up to your national squad for the World Cup. It was great.
So you're sitting on the bench. Unfortunately, you didn't get on the pitch, but that's nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, you were around a strong strike force that went out to that World Cup. I mean, if I'm right in saying Kevin Gallagher, Gordon Jury, one of my favourite players, Gordon Jury, well, just solid, man, really proper striker. Darren Jackson was there. Scott Booth, Aberdeen, Scott Booth, good cracking player, and yourself. So it was. I mean, it was a good pack of you there. So you've gone from winning you've stopped 10 in a row, and then you turn up at the opening game of the World Cup, and you've got the Brazilians. I mean, I've been to a cricket World Cup before. I went out to South Africa for the 2007 T20 World Cup. Now, obviously, you've had a great squad with the Scotland team, but you go out there and you're not likely to win the tournament. So you know when you're going to come up against the big boys, i.e. in cricket, Australia, South Africa, you're up against it, and you're maybe looking at a few guys and thinking, bloody hell, man, he's a serious player. I mean, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, Roberto Carlos. Were you having a wee in the warm up? Were you having a wee peek to see what they were getting up to?
It was ridiculous. We were queuing in the tunnel to come out for the game. We'd obviously turned up in the kilts. Social media wasn't a big thing, so we kept that quiet, and we got a great response off the Scottish fans when we came out in the kilts. But we're lined up to come out, and they're all looking $1 million, every one of them, standing there, tanned. Ronaldo's got these silver boots that nobody's ever seen before. We were all transfixed.
Carlos' calves, that was what I wanted to look at, the size of those calves.
Honestly, they're standing there, and I was just transfixed to his boots. I was like, and Lee Bruni came wandering out at the back and just said to the boys, look at them, they're shiting themselves. They were anything but. It was just his way of trying to calm us down. We were standing there in awe of this Brazil team. But to open the World Cup, you know, at the Stade de France against such a famous international team was amazing. We went close as well, you know.
Listen, I mean, they score early, which, like you said, about going in the UEFA game, you must be thinking, oh shit, the floodgates could open here. Yeah. And I remember, I grew up just next to Langside College. Mum and Dad lived there, and I don't know if you know Battlefield Road, and you've got a couple of pubs in Battlefield Road, and there was quite an atmosphere. I could hear the fans. I was only a wee boy at the time, and we get the penalty just not long before half time. John Collins, and I'm thinking he's going to miss it. Like, it's Scotland against Brazil. It's just not meant to be. And John Collins, cool as a cucumber.
Yeah, slotted it
away. What was it like what was the nerves like on the bench at that point when he got the penalty?
I expected him to score it. I obviously played with him at Celtic, and he'd taken penalties at Celtic. Quite a cool customer when it comes to that sort of thing. So I fancied him for the penalty. Yeah. And just brilliant, you know, and then to lose it in the way we did, you know, Boyd, he makes a joke of it now. I work with Boyd at Celtic regular now, and it's really unfortunate. It just bounces off him, you know. It was off him and goes in. So, yeah, it was a disappointing one, but a great opening to the World Cup, you know, to go there and play on that platform.
Even big Colin Hendry, I remember a moment at one point in the game, he did a couple of keepy-ups down the middle of the park, and the commentator made a joke like, is it Scotland it's the Brazil team, or is it Brazil? You know, played but again, it's unfortunately it's still a bit the same, isn't it? We're always so close yet so far, because we played a very competitive game against Brazil that day. Unfortunately, we went on in the next game and we had a good 1-1 draw against Norway. Was that a game that you hoped that we would? I mean, to be honest, at the time, you're probably looking at the Morocco game thinking, if we get a point against Norway, we should beat Morocco.
Yeah, I fancied us against Norway and Morocco. I thought we could win both, but the Morocco game just went from bad to worse from the start. I think Burley scored against Norway. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the 3 points. So you're going into that last game with quite a bit of pressure on you. And I don't remember much about it, apart from, the stupid things I remember. Craig getting sent off after getting his hair dyed. He went and dyed his hair blonde. I think the Romania team had dyed their hair blonde, so he went away up the town where we were staying in Saint-Remy de Provence and get his hair dyed for a laugh.
Right.
And then proceeded to get himself sent off, which didn't help us, but I can't remember much about the game.
I remember the boy Hadji, and I mean, I'm not talking obviously about the Romanian Hadji, but it was a boy Hadji in the Morocco tournament.
Yeah,
and
running riot.
He ran riot in that game and broke Scottish hearts, because going into that game, you're thinking, oh, we should beat Morocco here. We're going to get through.
Yeah. No, we always fancied ourselves, but as I say, I don't remember much about the game. It was the third game, and I hadn't been involved, and I was probably was for a selfish point of view. I was just wanting on the park. I wanted, even at 3-0, I think we'd one sub left, and he's told, I think it was me and Scott Booth, to go out and warm up. If I remember right, and I just remember coming back, and whoever it was, if it was Scott or whoever, gave it on, and it was a third sub, and that was almost, it was the realisation, you're not getting a game here, you're not getting on the turf, and I just, see, even just to be on for a couple of minutes, get a kick in the ball, say you'd done it, I'd have taken that. Unfortunately, it wasn't.
Well, listen, you're talking to a guy that went to a World Cup and didn't play either. So the few, I know
something in common.
something in common, mate. I mean, I even look back at like Euro '96, France '98. Great times. Euro '96, obviously, if David Seaman hadn't let the goal in against the Dutch, we would have got through. I thought we played brilliant against England in the game as well, and McAllister missed the penalty. It's always Scottish hearts. We do tend to get broken, but fingers crossed, sometime in the future, somebody gets us to another tournament, because it's been a long time now since the last time. Moving on then, a big game I want to touch on with you. We're still at Celtic. Big game, 21st of November 1998. A famous day. You've stopped 10 in a row, and then you go on to get a victory of 5-1, was it, against Rangers? And a big chap came into the, one of my favourite players that played for Celtic. You actually posted something on Instagram the other day, announced that he'd arrived on Instagram. Lubo Varavchik scored 2. I believe you assisted with a couple of goals in that game as well. Talk to me about that day.
It was an amazing game. Dr. Joe had taken over. Them had obviously been for the season, which was bizarre. But then Dr. Joe
I was meant to, I do have that down. Wim Jansen, you stop 10 in a row and then you go. That sounds like politics from a boardroom.
I just think there was maybe one or two. Wim's never told his story, and I've heard wee bits over the years, but I think there was maybe some players that he was looking at for the following season that he was maybe getting in. We went to Portugal, as I said there, and the next thing we're getting taken into a bedroom as a squad, and I think we get addressed by the captaincy, and Vim's no longer the manager. He's stepping down, which was sad, because I really liked Vim. I thought he was a calm influence on our team that year. Loads of experience, really good coach, and achieved one of the most important seasons in the club's history. So just bizarre. I think somebody should do a film of it, or a book. It's a crazy season, that one. But Dr. Joe then came in, and without Dr. Joe, you say things happen for a reason. Without Dr. Joe, Mr. Moravchik might not be at the club, because nobody knew him apart from Dr. Joe. Our ignorance of maybe other leagues in the world, he'd been a superstar in France. Zidane had classed him as one of the best number 10s, which you can't get a higher accolade. But Dr. Joe had worked with him and said, this is a player I want. And then obviously he's mocked for his age. And even if we'd been honest, him coming in, like, who's this guy? Never heard of him. He's 30 plus, blah, blah, blah. Then he steps onto the training pitch and he's whipping things in with his left, and he's whipping things in with his right, and he's outside of the right and outside of the left. Like, wow, wow. And he went to play, I think his debut was against Dundee. I think we turned him over 6, if I remember rightly. He was trapping things with his backside, he was whipping crosses in. Like you would normally whip something in with the inside, he was whipping things out at pace with the outside his foot onto people's heads and stuff. And
Zidane, no wonder Zidane said that.
Amazing. And the fans take to players like that, just class players that can again get you on the edge of your seat. And then the next game, as you say, was the Rangers game. And I've actually tried to play it in. I think I've caught Henrik in the corner of my eye, and I've tried to play it in there. And Henrik being clever, he knows Lubo's the other side. He's just stepped over it, and Lubo's just took it in his stride and lashed into the bottom corner.
Yep.
And I think if you watch back, I'm the first guy who gets to him, and he's just standing there. The crowd, the roar of the crowd, he's just standing there as if,
what's this all about?
Aye, what's this all about?
What would he have played in front of when he came to Parkhead? The team he played.
I'm not sure. He wouldn't have played in front of anything of that.
Yeah.
Spectacle in France. I mean, he played with St Etienne and various teams back home as well. But I think that would have been you could tell by his expression when the first goal was in, and then he scores a great header in the second half. I think Boyd stuck it in for him. He rises and puts a great header in. Again, just another special night, because as you've quite rightly reminded me at the beginning, all those years of struggling against Rangers, particularly when I was at the club from when I broke into the first team, we win the league, and then to go and beat your rivals by 5, it's a special night.
No, so it sounds like, and to play with again, Lubo Moravcik, Henrik Larsson, to play in the same pitch of these kind of guys. I mean, you're a great, fantastic player in your own outright, but these guys are legends. I mean, Henrik Larsson, one of the best football players in the world, and Lubo Moravcik kind of strikes me as a guy that went under the radar, really. Probably should have been a bigger name than what he was.
Well, again, I think he did star in France. I think just because we don't focus on, I think you watch these leagues a wee bit more now because there's more coverage. Back then, there wasn't that much coverage of it. But I wish so. I mean, after I left in '99, and I think for the next 2 seasons, I remember watching him, he scored a couple at Ibrox. He starred against Juventus in the Champions League. He really had a good couple of seasons after I left as well, Lubo. And you just wish we'd got him younger. He'd got him at a younger age. He
might have been, if you had him in that team maybe a year or 2 before, it might have changed a couple of the results.
You never know. You never know.
Something I want to just touch on before we move off, because obviously 99, as you mentioned, you left Celtic, and we'll come on to that, but I do want to quiz you on a few of the Rangers players. My favourite player of all time, Brian Laudrup. What was it? What was he like to be on the park again? Strikes me off. First of all, as well, as an absolute gentleman of a person, but as a footballer, just him and his brother were amazing. But he was fantastic at Rangers.
Yeah, just too good at times. Laudrup, just too good. He made the game look so easy. With 4 or 5 of them, there was a real thorn in the side for us. As I say, we pop up in games. Sometimes maybe quiet, and then one bit of magic, you'd be away for somebody in the back of the net. A fantastic player, as I say. I grew up watching his brother, 86 World Cup, who's a fantastic player for Barca and Real as well. But Brian, the biggest compliment, he made the game when he was here look unbelievably easy. Yeah, fantastic. Gascoigne. Another genius of a footballer. Very difficult to play against. I remember he always get the arms up, didn't he? Gazza caught me in the windpipe at Hampden. Honestly, I thought that was me away, right in the forearm. Yeah. But crazy as well. He'd always be verbals on the pitch. I remember playing against him when I went to Sheffield, and he was with Middlesbrough, and it was a reserve game, and he's congratulating you on passes, and he's well done there, wee man, and just always talking on the pitch. Yeah. But again, a player who in his time at Rangers and everywhere else he's been, produces moments of genius. Unfortunately for us at the time, they two were in the same bloody team.
Aye, well, that's what I was going to say. They were a big factor in a lot of that success in that period. One goal, I remember one of my last Champions League games, I went to Ibrox, and it's funny you say that with Gaza with the arms, because he goes in a run against Steaua Bucharest, and he's got the arms up, and he was just holding them off, and he tucked it in the bottom corner. Another great player. It's funny, I'll test your knowledge here. In that 5-1 game, who scored for Rangers?
And Brockhurst.
I will remember. Another, I mean,
also a great player, and I went on to play Arsenal, Barcelona. Some proper players.
Players that played at Celtic and Rangers in the 90s. Honestly, that's when it was also talked about quite a lot that Rangers and Celtic might go and join the Premier League.
Yeah.
I reckon back then it would have been there would have been a chance of being top 7, top 6, top 7. There were Rangers and Celtic were that good.
I would say higher. I would say higher if you gave them the chance.
Yeah, no, I think
with those players.
I think so. And I think the game would have got raised as well, coming up against the Man U's and the bigger clubs. I think they would have raised their game. So 99. Do I say sadly? It must have been a sad time for you. You're departing on a Bosman transfer, along with good friend of yours, the late Phil O'Donnell. You departed to go to Sheffield Wednesday to play in the Premier League. What was the feelings like there?
Mixed. Now, looking back, at the time I did 7 years there, and I've been asked this a million times. There was loads of reasons. I was 24. It was maybe my only chance at going to play in the Premiership. You never know. I think Sheffield Wednesday, I think Everton had made some sort of interest. And I chose Sheffield Wednesday with Phil. The two of us decided we were going to give it a go.
Mm-hmm.
And again, people say, how can you leave Celtic? How can you leave Celtic? It was like 7 years for me at Celtic were great. But again, I wasn't the most, I was quite a shy guy growing up. At 17 coming through, I was more comfortable on the football pitch than any of the stuff away from the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the things I thought, I'm going to give it a go down here. I'm going to go to the Premiership and give it a go with Sheffield. Looking back on it probably, if I was advising myself at 24 now, I wouldn't, and it's no disrespect to anybody at Sheffield Wednesday, but it wasn't the right time or the right club. They were struggling at the bottom of the league.
Yeah.
I came from a team where you'd 80-90% of the play attacking suited my game.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why there's 100 different reasons or permutations whether you go to the right club. Henrik coming to Celtic, perfect marriage. He came to Feyenoord, to a club here on a platform where he could go and do his bit. He had the trust of the manager, he had the love of the fans, and he went there. I think if I was advising myself, as I say, as an agent or an advisor at 24, if I was to move, I possibly should have went and looked to go abroad. It would maybe have suited my playing style a wee bit better. As I say, that's not to take anything away from, because I went down to Sheffield, and although the football and I had injuries and wasn't as good, nothing was as good as Celtic after Celtic.
Yeah.
I still was 4 good years there of life experience. I had my mate down there with me. We were living in each other's pockets because we were down there with it was my fiance at the time, he had his wife and a couple of young kids.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have had that time with him. So everything you say happens for a reason. My oldest son was born in Sheffield. I've got a lot of good memories from there, but the football just didn't match what I'd left. And that's the way it goes. You make decisions and you just have to go with it.
Well, listen, there's still positives that came out of it. Not everything in life works out the way you want, the way you want it to be. And you talked about your time there with a good mate, Phil O'Donnell, who sadly in 2007, correct me if I'm wrong, please. I believe it was 2007. Was substituted on a game playing for Motherwell, and he sadly suffered a heart attack and passed away. I mean, you must do that. I mean, obviously, you mentioned they're married and a couple of kids. That have, that's. I've seen my family. I've lost a younger brother, and I've experienced loss in the family. but he was a young man, big mate of yours, obviously. I mean, how are you feeling?
It was just terrible for everybody. He's got 4 kids, by the way, four beautiful kids, and a real family man. You know, he's one of the nicest guys I've ever met, to be honest, and lucky enough to be a friend. Played with him at Celtic. Remember him coming through at Motherwell, and I was still at school. I went to watch the '91 Cup final. We'd friends of the family, Motherwell supporters. And I remember watching Phil. So I remember getting really excited at Celtic when Tommy was going to sign him, because I knew how good a player he was.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, a couple of years older than me, but there was a group of us in that team, Jackie included. We all kind of hit it off. We were all the same kind of age. All the partners got on. We all kind of hung about.
Yeah.
So as I say, that 4-year stretch down at Sheffield with some great times, you know, the families, because it was that he had a lot of injuries at Sheffield. I had a lot of injuries. We were stuck in that bloody treatment room or the gym, cajoling each other on, trying to get ourselves back fit. We were getting a lot of stick saying, we're just here, pick your money up, you don't want to play, which is mental. If any player wants to play, it's a short career.
Mm-hmm.
And we had some real kind of tough times down there, but we ultimately get through them and probably grew closer there, because when he was up here, he was in Hamilton, I was East Kilbride, so he would always disperse. He'd maybe meet up at the weekend, but he'd disperse during the week, whereas down there, he was round at ours for dinner, we were round at theirs for dinner, we were at their kids' christenings, they were over at birthdays at ours. We lived together, you know, so I'm thankful for that time that I had with him.
No, it's you know, my love goes out to his family. Are you still in touch with them now?
Yeah. The kids are well, 2 of them are adults now.
Yeah.
You know, they're getting older as well. But yeah, we keep in touch. We see them. Actually did a charity thing with his oldest daughter. We did the West Highland Way a few years back. She wanted to do something. So we organised that. So we've did 1 or 2 things over the years.
That's good to hear.
But it's important to keep in touch with them.
No, it's good to hear. It's good to hear. So you left Sheffield Wednesday 2001, 2002. There was a bit, it just sounded like a time that was a tough time. You know, probably quite mentally challenging. Injuries, and, you know, relegation from the Premier League. You know, nothing. There was quite a lot of things that just didn't go right. Not just you personally, but the team in general. There was talk to you. Did you go to Coventry and trial?
Me and Phil both went to Coventry. That was weird. We both went. So Gary McAllister and Eric Black were the management team.
Right.
And it was just coming to the end. It was 2003, in fact, because we had 4 years at Sheffield. And they asked us to go to Germany with them to a pre-season, effectively.
Mm-hmm.
So we went there and we played games, but I can't remember if I was struggling. I think I just came back at the end of that season for an injury again and played maybe 2 games. Phil was the same. So the 2 were out of shapes, maybe we weren't as fit as we could have been.
Mm-hmm.
And we never did ourselves any justice there. I remember he get pulled in first when we came back from Germany, and he get told, we're not taking you. And these are guys that we'd worked with Eric at Celtic, we'd been with Gary at Scotland, so it was difficult for them as well. But we're not taking you. So he's come out and he's kind of shrugged his shoulders, I'm not there. And I went in, and the 2 is actually, we didn't laugh about it, but we get in the car back to Sheffield and thought, it's not meant to be, this one. It's not meant to be. It meant if we had got the job, I think it was an hour and a half to Sheffield, we'd had to move again. It just didn't feel right, but we weren't given the opportunity anyway, so it didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, we just had my first son, and I think, in all honesty, my wife was ready to come back up the road, you know, with the family network here.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of one of the things at the back of my mind. I think if I'd been lucky enough to get another club down south at that point, I could quite easily be still there just now, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I could have maybe led to different things, but because my time at Sheffield wasn't particularly good, I'd had a few injuries. I had this label sitting over my head, he's injury prone, so it probably put a lot of teams off.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up coming back up to St Johnstone,
who had a familiar face to me, Billy Stark. He knew what he was getting with me and wanted to give me a year back there. I was 27 at that point and wanted to get me going again. And it was somebody who I trusted from my time at Celtic as well. He says, come back up here, we'll get you playing 30 to 40 games and see where you go from there.
You done well. You stayed injury free that season.
I had a decent season.
You scored eight goals. You played pretty much. Featured in every single league match. So that must have been a time where your spirit started lifting up again. You had a bit of a tough stint. You're back home again. You're around all the family network, like you say. I know from going down south and playing cricket, it can become or going to South Africa and Australia for 6 months. It can become a bit of a lonely place sometimes. I mean, you had your family with you, but you would have been missing the rest of the family. I
started enjoying my football again. You know, it wasn't at a level of English Premiership. It wasn't at a level at Celtic, but it was at a level where I was enjoying myself again. I was playing with some old players that I'd played with before. Jamie McQuilkin at Celtic, Brian McLaughlin at Celtic, Big Ian Maxwell for Queen's Park. I was playing in a team where I started to enjoy my football again. I knew I was playing regular. I knew I was injury free. I knew I had a manager that trusted in me. You know, a guy who at 70 minutes, if you've maybe not had the best of games, other guys would be taking you off, but he knew with what he had with me, leave him on, one wee bit of magic here, might get us a goal or something. That gives a player a lift, gives a player a huge lift. So I really enjoyed my year there.
That's good. And then you moved to Dunfermline. 2 years. Wasn't his injuries kind of drifted in a wee bit again at Dunfermline? I mean, you had 40 odd appearances for them, but you probably would have wanted to play a wee bit more over 2 years. What were the injuries that were coming in, Simon, at that point in your career?
I always had problems. See, my middle, my glutes and my hamstrings. Looking back now, sports science, I would have worked on all that when I was playing. But back then, you didn't have that. I used to get in and bench press. I thought, I'm a wee guy, I need to be strong. But everything comes from your core and your legs. So I always used to get problems with that area. I think with the pitch there didn't help. I broke my foot, which maybe the only time I broke anything in football.
Well, that's definitely going to cause you problems as a football player.
Aye, that was against Celtic as well. I broke my foot. But yeah, I went to Dunfermline again on the back. I think Starkey lost his job, and I didn't like the way that had been dealt with. I thought, I'm not hanging about here. Because I thought if he did another go at that, we might have won that league the following year. So I had the chance to go to Dunfermline with Davy Hay, who were back in the Premiership, so it was another wee level up for me. And again, they came off the back of a good period with Jimmy Calder. There was a lot of good players there as well at Dunfermline. And I enjoyed that as well. I enjoyed my experience there. Leishman came in, Big Jim came in the second season. I remember him taking me out of the office and saying, listen, we're not going to keep you on, we're going down a different direction. It's fine, I can accept that, you know, people being honest with you, not a problem. And then I obviously moved to Partick Thistle.
That must have been a nice time for you, back to Glasgow, back to the city of Glasgow. You know, local to, you know, if any of the family want to come and watch you or anything, it's a lot easier. I mean, I know you would have been playing in Glasgow every other week occasionally, but you know, probably had a lot of travel with St Johnstone and the Dunfermline and stuff. So being back home, you know, West End of Glasgow, it must have been quite enjoyable for you.
It was my favourite period out with Celtic, Partick. You know, I went there and played a right few seasons, most appearances out with Celtic. Again, played with some good players there, some good dressing rooms, some friends that I still have to this day. I really enjoyed the atmosphere of Firhill, Partick. As I say, my friends could get to the games, my dad could get to the games. I enjoyed it. You know, I was quite settled there. I think McCall came in, Dick Campbell took me there, Ian McCall came in. And the way it went, you always found it was 1 year contracts. You know, there was none of this lucrative 3-4, it was 1 year contracts.
Yeah.
And he let me go in May at the end of the season because the club wouldn't want to pay me in June. And then he'd bring me back in July. I think he knew the type of player he was getting.
Yeah.
And it also kind of suited me. It was an environment that I was comfortable with. I liked the training. And I liked the boys, you know. And I enjoyed playing with Partick.
No, sounds like a good time. That kind of led you into a bit of management with them as well as an assistant to your chum, who pretty much from that moment on, it's the McNamara and Donnelly show. I mean, you boys have had a lifetime together. How was that going into the different? I think were you kind of doing a player and management role?
No, I wanted to, but he retired now. I wanted to play, but he said he wanted me in the dugout with him, and he'll tell everybody that to this day. We did have that discussion. I says, look, I think I was 35. I think I can still do a job. He was like, no, I want you in the dugout, eyes and ears in here with me in the dressing room and whatever. So that was when I had to make a decision. But I'd never really gave it much thought. Had they thought about the coaching side of it. But when he asked me, I thought, I'm going to give this a go. I'm going to help him and do our best. And it was a wee bit weird because a lot of these guys I'd played with for 2, 3, 4 seasons. All of a sudden, you're their coach. But I think we adapted to it well. We had 5 games to get the job, and we got the job. And then the next season was a wee bit up and down. We were acquiring players from everywhere. We didn't have the biggest of budgets. But by the second season, we had a team in place which really hit the ground running at the start of that season. And I watched the football played. I watched that back now, and there's some real good football there. It was all boys that were getting a second chance. Welsh for Hibs, Forbes and Lawless for Motherwell. All these guys that had maybe been rejected a wee bit, but could play football, and we gave them a wee bit of belief there and a platform to go and show what they could do. And obviously, we didn't quite get to the end of that season because Dundee United came looking for us, and we thought that was a good opportunity to go to another level. And obviously, Archie came in and Partick won the league that year, so it was great being part of that. And it's some good times, we took them down to Partick a couple of times pre-season, and it really Army Barracks was one of the guys, a Partick Thistle supporter, John Lilly, got us down there. And it really was an education to all of us, the staff and the players, about what these guys go through. And they took them in a few sessions. And again, looking back on that, I think that really instilled a group bond with that group that we brought to Partick at the time. And it stood us in good stead for what we went on to achieve.
That's great. And then Dundee United, around January 2013, you stayed, kept the dream team together. You and Jackie went over there. How was your time at Dundee United? Dundee
United was a tale of 2 halves. We went in and obviously had a lot of work to do at the beginning to reduce the wage bill, but strengthen the team. There's a few guys that we had to let go, and we brought a couple in for Partick. We brought Sheikhy in through Pierre Van Hooijdonk. And obviously the cracking young players that we had there. Jackie got Andy Robertson in for Queen's Park. And for a spell, we were flying, absolutely flying. Some of the football we played, I think there was a period we went 4-4-4, 5-4 in terms of goals scored. We went to Motherwell and battled Motherwell, and Stuart McCall said it was the best display a team had, including Rangers or Celtic, had came to Motherwell. Some phenomenal football at that time. Got ourselves to the cup final. Unfortunately, got beat off our bogey team, my old team, St Johnstone, and that was probably the kind of start of the slide for us there. It kind of turned quite quickly, but for a period, it was great. Some real talent in that team, some real young talent. And they were a joy to work with and a joy to watch.
No, it sounds like a good time, but sport is cruel, especially when you're in management. You can be a hero 1 week, 2 weeks down the line, people are calling for your throat. So it's just the nature of the beast. 2015, you go down south. Is that right? You go to York. You go to York City. That was quite a big decision to make at the time. Obviously, with family and stuff like that. Did you just travel? How did that work? How did the logistics work?
There was Jackie, myself, and Craig Hinchliffe, the goalie coach. That was the 3 of us. But we commuted, so we would go down at the start of the week. You'd get the 1 minute past 6 train for to Central, get into
Yeah.
York at 9,
Yeah.
and go and train and work away for the week. And then depending on where we played at the weekend, we'd try to get back up the road to see the family for a night.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't ideal. And see if you're flying with
that doesn't sound like your kids would have been your son would have been getting older at that point now.
Aye, it wasn't perfect. But if you're winning games and you're moving in the direction that you want to be, you maybe tolerate that a wee bit more. But we weren't. We were struggling. We didn't have the dressing room for whatever reason. And you're out. You can't pull in your network there. For example, you can't go to a Pierre Van Hooijdonk and bring in a Sifty because a Sifty wouldn't play at York.
Yeah.
Couldn't afford them and they wouldn't play it. See, you can't use the tools that you've got.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it was very hard the year at York. Very hard. And probably the least enjoyable of my management spell.
I mean, what have you gone on to? What other management have you gone? Did you go on to do more management after that time?
No, that was my last job in senior football. Since then, I've got a few different business ventures now.
Yeah.
That I'm quite happy with. I get asked.
Tell me about. I know you've got a bar out in Spain with Jackie.
Yeah.
That must have taken a wee bit of a hit recently, obviously with the old.
It only opened last Saturday, so it's not been ideal. Everybody's in the same boat, I guess.
Yeah.
We opened in September with some really good nights. With the opening night, with Lubo Moravchik over, we've had a few players over for Q&As. We tried to take it away if it'd just been Celtic with Keith Gillespie. Don Matteo came out with some cracking nights, just to do that. And then obviously things happened, it tends to tail down towards December, so that was a quiet month anyway. But then just as we're hitting February, March of this year, where we're thinking with loads of stuff, with Machiavelli and Tony Cottee lined up for May for a West Ham night.
Yep.
Our plans, we had a big Celtic event over there as well, at one of the hotels, with 10 former players lined up. So that all took a hit. That all got cancelled. So, as I say, everybody's in the same boat. I'm sure we'll come back bigger and stronger. But it's a different one. It's exciting. We're in it with 2 other guys. It's a four-man team, and it's quite exciting. We've had a lot of good feedback, and a lot of people say they're going to go out. It's accessible. Malaga's 2 hours, 2.5 hours. It's only 15 minutes down the coast. So hopefully we'll have some good nights ahead in there.
No, I hope I keep my fingers crossed for you. Obviously, slowly but surely, because obviously it'll be social distancing to start with. You can't all pile in just yet. Final moments of this. I want to just fire some quick questions at you. I lined up a couple of questions. Nothing I want you to think too long about. Just fire them back. What comes to your mind? So, who's the best you ever played against?
Robert Prozinecki.
Okay. Who's the best in Scotland?
That I've played against?
Yeah.
It'd probably need to be Laudrup or Gascoigne.
Okay. Who's the toughest opponent you played against?
Toughest. It's a hard one that I can only think of the time I came back to Celtic Park with Dunfermline and we get turned over. It was horrible. It was the opposite experience of what you used to like at Celtic. You were getting got. And I played against, I think it was Baldy and Varga. And Varga stood in my toe. I could get my nail taken off at half time. I didn't really want to come out for the second half. There were like 2 men mountain, just clattered into you and bang after bang. It was an afternoon. Was there a pleasant day? Is there anyone you struggled to get on with your time at Celtic Park? No.
No one. And who was your? Well, you've kind of already named that. If I was to ask you next question, favourite Rangers player, probably Gascoigne or Laudrup.
Favourite Rangers player?
Yeah.
I'm allowed to say that one here. I think Ian Durrant was a fantastic football player. I think for what he achieved, I think if he hadn't got the knee injury, I think he'd have been even better. But I think Durrant was a fantastic player.
Yeah, I agree. Excellent player. What does the future hold then, Simon? What's the future aspirations? Obviously, you've touched on your business you've got there. What other things are happening in the Donnelly household, or what's in the horizon?
Just as I say, about 2 or 3 businesses that I'm working with Jackie again. Surprise, surprise. With his Consortium Sports Group, who just advise and help players, or not necessarily football. There's different sports he's involved with now, golf and whatnot. Just advise them on their careers and help them with their careers. Mm-hmm. And he's got the foundation which I'm running for, which I see myself at this time of my. I would like to get involved with that a bit more. We've had a discussion about this, and I would like to see where that takes us as well. What we can do with that, and raise some money for some good charities.
No, look, I think it's great with the names that you guys have got. You obviously people will get behind you if you're doing stuff like this, and I encourage anybody that's watching to support the cause. I just want to thank you very much, Simon. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you from a Rangers fan point of view. To speak to a Celtic legend has been so much fun. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I just want to put out there as well to everybody, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Sheikhy's with SJ1 at the end of it. I really appreciate it if you get behind it.